Yo, what's going on, guys? Lance Edgel here. You know what's good. So anyway, hope everyone had a fantastic New Year and Christmas. You know, been a while since I've posted, but so we're back at it again. So I told you in a while back that we we're going to put a mini spool in this one. So we're definitely going to get onto that today. So just pretty much going to do the same thing that we did when we were welding the diff. So I'll skip over a few bits, but then pretty much go into a bit more depth once we've actually got the diff house, the diff gears and stuff on the actual table, and we're sussing out everything else that's going to be involved in doing this. So pretty much wheels are already off and we're just going to get stuck into this one. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Alright guys, so like I said, just going to skim over this. So that bracket sits where that caliper is, those two bolts. Just pretty much loosen off these ones here, those ones there, and that'll connect to the actual caliper itself. As you can see, got a shoestring holding that on so it doesn't flex on the pipeline for the brakes too much. But yeah, just undo that bracket and that should slide off. Just might need to unloosen the handbrake cable from it. If you can see it just there, I've just put that clip back in there and that's just holding onto that. So as you undo those, that'll allow you to get that off, which will then allow you to get the brake disc off. So once you do all that stuff, get that off. And then you'll see this little inspection window. If you see down there, there's a bolt. So just make sure your car's in neutral. And then you just spin this round and undo all four that are just behind there. Just behind there, and then you just undo those that's connected to the axles and do the same on the other side, and that should pull out the axles. You just need to pull them out enough so that you can get the center of the diff out. So anyway, I'll get cracking on with a bit more and then I'll catch you guys in a bit. Alright guys, so we're back under the car now. So it's just the diff. In the last couple of episodes when we did the welded, we just painted it red to give it just that little bit nicer look. Anyway, so I've just taken out some of the bolts in here. So we've just got these last two, and I think, yeah, another two up the top. So just get something underneath it. So I've got this little tray here. I've already drained most of the fluid in this anyway, but just good practice for when you do this. And also do this before you go to punch out the actual axle that's connected that we're just about to do, because if you can get rid of most of the fluid in here, hopefully too much shouldn't leak out of the end there. So yeah, we get this popped off and pop this off, and then we'll pop that out and then pretty much do the same on the other side and crack on with this. Alright guys, we are back. So as you can see, those four bolts are off now. You tap on practically, where is it? This itself, the hub itself. So you tap on this, the back of this, just with a hammer and a chisel, you know, something that's a bit flat so it won't damage us at all, but this is pretty solid. So just tap this out. This will then pop out. You'll hear it as, you just pull it out enough, see as it's only like maybe a couple of centimeters out. You can hear it drop out of the diff. So once that's out and you've done all that stuff, just get under here, practically do the exact same thing on that side. So as you can see, that one's out as well. So then you come to this. So you've got, let's put this here. You get those these two main caps here, which is 16 mils for that. And then you pretty much take those off, but be careful. They'll have like bearings and shims on them, and if they've been in the car for a while, or just good practice is to keep the lefts on the lefts and the rights on the rights. So with most other things you can sort of mix and match, but these you definitely want to keep on what side they come off. So I'm going to whip these four bolts off, pull the diff out, and then I guess the next bit will be it on the desk, and we're trying to pull it apart to get in this mini spool. So there's the diff right here. So practically what we're going to do now is whip those few bolts off over there, get that all situated off, smash this ring off, which should give us then, with a few more tweaks, get into those spider gears in there, take those out and install the mini spool. So get stuck into those bolts and I'll catch you guys after that. Alright guys, so as you can see, diff's now apart, all those bolts are undone. as well as the ring gear. So I'll show you these pins are in those holes just there. You have to bang those out with a punch. So just get yourself a punch, stick it in there, hammer them out. Then once those are out and the actual bolts are out, just you go around with a punch and tap this actual ring gear off. Now I was going to show that, but it was a whole lot of messing around and practically just me hitting around with a hammer and using a little pry bar for 10 minutes, so skip that completely. Anyway guys, so that's getting on, so I'll get to the bit once, pull out some spider gears and get this mini spool in. Alright guys, so it's almost ready to come out. So as you can see, cap that goes onto this one has come off, so that of course sits like that, which then has this part of gearing in. And then, as you can see, when that spins, spin those gears in there. So that's how you get an open wheeled diff and such. So pretty much, we're going to pretty much tap these out, these little pins, and then practically get all those gears out and then put the mini spool in. So I'll catch you once I've got those out. Alright guys, as you can see, all the gears are now out of the diff, so this is just practically a housing. I found that you've got the one longer one, which goes through like in there, and you got two shorter ones. Now, you don't have to knock them all the way out, and also that's a great way of like keeping the orientation right for when you got to put the mini spool in. So as you can see, these are all your gears and whatnot. So that bit's in the center, if you can just imagine. All the gears are on there. When they all spin, it'll rotate in different directions to allow power to go to different wheels with slip on one wheel and non-slip on other. Whereas the mini spool, which I'm going to install in a second, is just going to be literally a solid block of metal. These pins are just going to run through it, and it's just pretty much going to be like one wheel can't spin faster than the other. That's why you find in a lot of drift cars and, you know, cars with mini spools, they'll definitely have like the outer wheel, both, you'll hear like a skipping noise because one wheel will want to spin slower and faster than the other. So anyway guys, sorry I couldn't film like time lapse of a lot of this stuff. Anywhere I put the camera, it just knocks it over completely. So it's not too bad of a job once you've got some center punches and stuff. You can get some pretty cheap kits from Bunnings and stuff, really good. So anyway, gonna put this mini spool in and get more stuck into this. So catch you guys once we've got him. So guys, we're back. Just gave everything a quick clean. So the mini spool's in there. So the best part about this whole thing is you place this. This is one part, and you get rid of all that. So you've got 6 sets of gears, 6 sets of like shims slash washers, and then this bad boy right here. So it makes it a lot more simple, a lot more simplistic. All you're using are the pins to lock it in, and then these pins go, the other small pins go in here to lock everything down. So I'm going to get this all together and get back to you when I'm putting it in the car. So there it is, all back together. Pretty self-explanatory. Just make sure all these pins in there are knocked in. So you got that one, and that one. So once they're all knocked in nice and everything starts going together, it starts making a little bit more sense when you've got everything apart. So everything's back on now, all nice and tight. Just really make sure that everything is really tight here, because this is going to have a lot of load on it. So just go above and beyond if you have to. But yeah, so that's all in. Pretty much looks normal if you'd look down there, really. So yeah, all the pins are back in, so I'll just get it whipped in the car and start putting some fluid in her. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this one. So practically that was the install of the mini spool. When we were putting it back in the car, it was pretty much everything we'd done when we welded the diff. So practically didn't have to film any of that stuff. If you need to learn any of that stuff, that's in that video. And it's pretty much everything we did putting it in, but just in reverse. Just remembering to put fluid in, and also just check all your crown bolts for the big gear that you pulled off once you when you got the diff out of the car. Now, just a quick note, these are the shims that I'm talking about that are on the left and right side of the diff that go on the bearings. Now, these adjust your backlash. So if you ever heard in some older cars, sometimes they knock around and stuff, and you know, and settings are wrong. And these are, like I said, these are determined that they have to be either on the left side or the right side, so you can't mix and match. And as you can see on this one, this will focus, yeah, there, that it's snapped. So that was just me rushing, trying to get it done. In the other video, I did do it on my own, but I was tired and stuff. So sometimes, guys, just learn to just walk away from a job. You know, especially if it's not something you have to do immediately. You know, definitely think about like coming back to it at a later date. You know, because, you know, stuff like this can happen. And like, I went to like 6 stores to get this, so these are a pain in the ass to find. Like, you need to go to real diff specialists. Like, the bearings are fine because you can go to normal bearing supplies, but you know, these are really like a fine art. So really take your time. If you need to, get a mate to help you lift the diff in because it's quite heavy. And not only that, it's just the shims and everything fall in on themselves. So just really take your time with that, guys. You know, I can't stress that enough because this was really hard to find. Anyway, so what's coming up in the next couple of episodes? So over here, if you can see in the background, we got a new clutch for the 33. So the old one, it's in it. We're not really sure what's in it at the moment. Pretty sure it's a heavy duty, but it could just be standard. Whatever the case, it was slipping on the dyno last time. So we did go to a ceramic, so a 6-puck. Then I know some people are going to be like, oh, that's going to be a pain in the ass to drive and blah, blah, blah. But look, it was really cheap. I was able to get it in 2 days, shipped to my door. So I can't really complain. It comes in the whole kit with everything. So I'll go through that when we're installing it. But like I said, it's just, you know, you can only take experiences from what you've actually done. You know, you can't actually... I don't want to just be like, oh, this is hard because someone else said it. I want to try it for myself. And if it is, you know, it is good to hear from other people's experiences, but this will definitely suffice for what I want at this moment in time. They recommend it'll hold about 570 Newton meters of torque. I reckon with a bit of machine work on the flywheel and lipping it and stuff, we can get about 600. So the Skyline 6 at about 430. So with a couple more pounds of boost, it'll definitely be able to hold up with that. So anyway, that's it for this one, guys. We signed up to our first event coming up, so it's in less than a month's time. So after we've done that, because of the training day, we'll be more than able to do every other Vic Drift event. So pretty much a lot more drift videos to come. Hopefully, we can get a bit more footage for you guys. And yeah, that's going to be it, guys. So stay awesome, guys, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.